Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my monthly favorites. This month we are going to talk about my matcha and hojicha favorites of February. And February was a shorter month, but I still tried a lot of different brands, and these are the ones that I found myself gravitating towards in this month. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Let's start with my drink today. I made my strawberry hojicha with a cream top, and the powder that I use for this is Ocha & Co.'s hojicha powder. This is now one of my favorite hojicha powders in the medium category. So I think for like hojicha, there's like light, medium, and there's like really bold. So this is another favorite of mine in the medium area. Where I feel like it's not super bold in like the roastedness or the smokiness or even like the hojicha flavor itself, but it's also not light. So it's like well balanced and has just the right amount of like roastedness, smokiness that I love in a hojicha. But when I drink this, it feels like I'm drinking kind of like a dark chocolate milk in a sense. Like it tastes very creamy, it's very cocoa-y, and it just tastes, yeah, like a dark chocolate milk. And it's also not super bitter, so if you are afraid of like the bitterness in the hojicha, this one is very tame. But this one does bitterness so well. It's pretty tame, it's light in that area, but you still get like that roastedness and the nuttiness coming through. It's very toasty. Like the smell of it is probably one of the best hojicha aromas that I've smelled before, just because of how like toasty and roasted it smells. So this is the only hojicha powder that I had for February, so the rest are matcha. Let's start with this one because we all know Ippodo. So this one is Ippodo's Nodoka matcha, and this is their seasonal one where they come out with different seasonal matcha powders. So this one is the one I believe that comes out like around springtime-ish or during that. And then they also have like an autumn one, which I'm forgetting what it's called off the top of my head, but they also have an autumn one that I love. And Ippodo never misses. They always have such good powders. And I say this all the time, but if you get a chance to purchase their seasonal blends, do it. And don't hesitate because they go quick. And people know that these are good, so they buy. So if you have a chance, if you have an opportunity, I would suggest buying it and just trying it out. So this one tastes like spring. Like it tastes like spring in matcha form. It's grassy, it's more of a vegetal matcha, but again, grassiness in such a good way. It's very light, it's refreshing. There's like hints of floral notes. It's super smooth. It has such a beautiful vibrant green, and it's the perfect grassy matcha. If you are somebody who likes a grassier, like more vegetal matcha, you will for sure love this one. And this is definitely a recommendation that I would give to people who ask me for grassy matchas. Next up, let's do Frauth's Hana matcha. This is the most recent blend that Remy came out with. She's the owner of Frauth. I almost forgot the name. She's the owner of Frauth, and she had two other matcha blends that she came out with before. So this Hana matcha is the newest one that released, and my favorite one. So this one is very bright, it's creamy, it's umami. It has like such a good creaminess to it, and that is just the powder itself. But if you love an umami matcha, and you love those notes, you will for sure love this one. But what I really like about this matcha is that while it's creamy, it's still very light. So it's not like a heavy tasting matcha, and the umami in it is more of like a refreshing umami than it is a really deep and like earthy one. So I loved that, and I feel like I've never really experienced like a really like light-ish umami matcha that also had the ability to be like really creamy. So if you love umami notes in your matcha, I would definitely recommend this for you to try. I'm probably the most excited about this one. This is Midori Springs Gold Matcha, and If you watched my video where I taste tested a couple of their matchas from the same brand, you guys will know how much I love this matcha. And each and every matcha that I tried from their line, I loved every single one of them. And while yes, I think they are my favorites, I specifically really liked this gold one in this month of February and found myself gravitating towards this one because this is such a good everyday matcha, but a bold one. So if you are like me and you like a bold matcha for your everyday drinking lattes, this is such a great one because they do matcha boldness so well, and like how powerful and like rich the matcha taste is in each of the blends that I've tried is amazing. And honestly, it took me by surprise because it's very rare for me to find that type of boldness consistently throughout blends. But it even says on this can that it's bold and floral, and that's exactly what I tasted in this matcha. So they're not like saying it tastes like something and it actually doesn't. That's exactly what I experienced in this one. It's so good. I love when my matchas have a kick to it, and I love a punchy matcha, and I feel like this one does that so well. When I drink this as a latte, the boldness doesn't lose like the punch to it. It carries through the milk itself, and for me, that's how I drink it usually, so that's kind of what I'm basing it off of and determining like how bold it is and how it can like handle itself inside the milk. I'm talking about these matchas like they're a person and like they're experiencing like different circumstances. I feel, yeah, okay. Anyways, I just felt like I was talking about a person, but I'm talking about this matcha. But anyways, as a latte, yeah, I really think that this can hold like the boldness in the milk itself, which I think for me is important too, because when I drink my matchas every day, I want to taste the matcha and the matcha boldness in it. So this one definitely carries through the milk too. All right, and then last up, we all know Rocky's matcha again. Never misses too. They never miss. They are always solid. Rocky's matcha always ends up in my favorites videos because they really are my favorites. Like every single one of their blends I love. I always say this, I talk too much about it, but you guys know, you get the point, I love them. So this is their newer blend that they came out with. This is the Narino blend, and it's from hojicha, and that is another matcha brand I've seen before. I've never gotten to try their blends before, but I've heard in the matcha community that it's a really solid matcha company. So this one came from that same company, and if that is what all of their other ones taste like, then yes, I can say that that brand is definitely a really good one, because this one, I said it in my short form, but I really could chug it as a yusucha. Like that is how smooth, how easy to drink this matcha is. And I will say this one, I wouldn't suggest it for people who are getting into matcha and maybe don't necessarily like how to taste like the specific notes like in a matcha, or like even just yet like know how to like appreciate different notes in it, just because this thing is pretty expensive for 20 grams. So with that, I would suggest this more for somebody who is a little bit more advanced and yeah, wants to like taste different notes in their matcha versus like just wanting a good basic matcha to drink every day, which is like the Midori Spring. And it's expensive for a reason, because it tastes expensive. Like it's so good, and it's like matcha perfection. I feel like when I drink it, I'm like, yes, I understand why it's expensive. Like I understand the price point and why it's like that, because it really is that good. When I tried it as the yusucha for the first time, it was so smooth. There was like no bitterness, no astringency. it was just so easy to drink and sip on, which again, I feel like is very rare experience that I get when I try Azuyu Sucha, because usually it's, you know, I have like some like bitterness, some like astringency in it. Like it's a little bit more bold, I would say, but it's so smooth and light and so easy to drink, and it's very umami, it's very creamy as a latte, and it's very smooth, and it's just so good. What else can I say except I can chug it, and it's so easy to drink. All right, that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being here, and I will see you guys in the next monthly favorites video. Bye.